We're holding Eisvav. The Shaila was the several Shailas in the previous paragraph. The first question was the Fidige Rebbe said, as a statement of fact, we're not comparable to our office. So how can we pray nonetheless still? You can ask for it, but you can ask, but so the bakosha has to be such that in the bakosha is the avodah to pray of the Indian. If we're not comparable, how can we possibly achieve it? And then he said that in what way we dissimilar, because they were Bali Mesidus Nefesh. But according to our whole explanation now, there's a new shadow, not from the previous Maamer, that Avisena goes on Chachman Bina. So you should have said, in what way are we not comparable that they were Bali Haskola? And moreover, if he's saying Mesidus Nefesh, we're not comparable, and we're greater. Moishe Rabbeinu was nispol dafke from the Der Hashmad. Again, Der Hashmad means obliteration, begashmi, so baruchni. That's at this generation, the Holocaust, and then assimilation in America, the New World. He was nispol of the Mesidus Nefesh of Yidden. They don't have avonda vasoga. It's ideas hametzias at best. We're learning about God, and even that, our understanding is the paucity of our understanding. In contrast to Yidis HaMahus, you're learning about this and you're seeing and feeling what you're learning about. It's not abstractions. And yet, Yidden came to the mitzvah. So if anything, our generation is dafka, the Ma'adim Mesidus Nefesh is dafka b'deiros acharonim, the final generations before Geula. So what does he mean? You can't compare. So we'll start again. We already had got the answer. He's elaborating now. Even not be Bashans Baliel, and this will be understood in light of the was explained above. Pirish Havasina Koyel and Chachma Bina. So classically, obvious is Chachma Bina, but here we mean that Shakavon Lipnimis Chachma Bina Shemitzad Etzem Anashama. Here we mean not the developed Chachma Bina, but the innate Chachma Bina, which is Chachma Habitlu Hamiti Va'av Rabbash Misadevet Samanefesh. As we explained, Chachma is the true bittul, and hence immediately this Ava Rabba, not intellectually born, but much deeper than that, of the innate desire to be absorbed and one with the Eibishter, because it unlocks the innate identity of the neshama, which is a part of God. So, Pashat, the neshama is drawn to itself, really, in the deepest way. You need Havana Vasoga to attract you to something which you don't see a connection to instinctively. You have to understand it's a mila. Okay, now I want it. But this is a Havana Vasoga that's instinctual, because Elikus is not something else. Elikus is the neshama feels there its own source, so therefore it's naturally drawn there with Ba'ava Rabba, and nothing can stop it there. Other Rabba. More difficult to understand this, but here's already an element of understanding. But the understanding is not the understanding of an outsider, but the understanding of self, because of the iskashus of the etzem nefesh in the essence of the course, whatever that understanding means. Was the taichavona at that level? Needs to be understood, but we get the general idea. So when he speaks of Avisenu in the pasuk, as the Fidige explains it, that it's the Atzmis, the Gechachman Bina, that's Mesidus Nefesh, not Askola. It's because of this Avisenu that's innate in every Yid, this essential bond and this Ava Rabba. From there comes Yeshna Koyach HaMesidus Nefesh, B'kol Echad V'echad Misra. This is where Mesidus Nefesh comes by every Yid. K'mevor B'tan, like explains in Tanya in the Perek Ches, She'afilu Kal She'bekalim, someone whose life overtly is in ganz nicht, in accord with what Eibishter wants. It's an interesting way of describing this. It's just the light of the light. It doesn't just take it seriously. So, no. So such a Pesha Yisrael and someone that's a deliberate transgression, Moisim Navshim Kedushas Hashem. Pesha Yisrael doesn't mean doing so to antagonize God. It just means, I know that's wrong, but yet such Yidden overall in history has shown that when it comes to the crunch, are you a Jew or not, they give up their lives. Daniel Pearl, not that he was a Kal Shabakalim, he was a Think Shenishba, but his final words, I'm a Yid. That's because in every neshama is invested Eirin Tzav Baruch, and it's the Keli is the Chachma, the bittul of the nefesh. So this is all fine and good, the way it is. Be'etzim b'pnimis. However, this Indian that we all have still Yochali is behelim of the hester can be concealed. So much so that our conduct can be lazy workers and just done bad workers. In brackets, we learned in the previous Maamer, the Maamer didn't go into the pratim, but the Sikha then in the Fabrengen did, and we quoted from it. So he brings it here in the Maamer. Kebezag Yisois Divri al Medrash is two girses in the Medrash. This is the very pasuk the Frierdiker Rebbe invokes. So the Mocker, the Frierdiker Rebbe's words is in fact this Medrash. What's the pasuk is saying? May be with us like he was with our forefathers. What's the praise? So Shivcha Shemeluchu. Shlomo Melech is saying this, that the praise of the king is he hires lazy and bad workers who don't do the task and still and gives them their reward. That's what we're saying to the Eibishter. We're lazy and bad, but still reward us. That's your praise. It's barely like we said before in the first Maamer of that Fabrengen, of this Fabrengen of Keirach Gimel Tammuz Toshen Chav Daled. So we said, Shazah Moker, this is the Moker, this Medrash, the Divrei Chak Marav Chami Admo, the words of the Frierdiker Rebbe standing there on the train station, that we can't compare ourselves to our forefathers. On this pasuk, he said it. The Moker is this Medrash, as we just quoted. Now, what's the difference between lazy and bad? There are those that are lazy. In the words of the Medrash, lazy workers, and they say, they argue. The defense is, the Yitzhara is so strong, it's very difficult. I just don't have the strength. To carry out the work that has been placed upon them. He hasn't got the koyach, it's just too strong. He has the koyach, but what can he do? He's exhausted with all of the demands that he has in life. When it comes to this, he has no koyach left to fight the Yitzhar. And he saw the tirdas are so great. About him, the pasuk says in the Teichacha, you'll go mad from that which your eye sees. He's meshuga. He's running all over the place and on Aseder, and he's exhausted. And when it comes to the shir and it comes to the limud be'iyun, he'll say the words, but to break his head to understand what the Rambam is saying, he doesn't have no strength. That's all depleted. It's not true, but that's his excuse. That's the lazy worker. I'm just reminded that they found after Yossi Spalter, my son-in-law, this is his Zayde, Rabbi Shmelik Spalter. And if you would remember, he was the Baal Shachris Yom Neroyim in 770 for many years. They don't come from the Lubavitch family, Spalter, the big Galiciana Yidden. They come from big Yichus, Rabbonim, Chassidim. Blushev Chassidim, I think. At any rate, so they found, after he passed away, like his diary. So one of the things he writes that he wrote that he demanding of himself is he was London, he's a big Talmud Chacham, but he's demanding of himself not to be yotze with superficial understanding, to break his head. He understood. He was a big Talmud Chacham, no Gemara, whatever, he understood. That it's break your head tiefer. No, that was his achlata. A whole list of achlatas. I mean, there's Atfila, Nimet HaTorah. Just reminded because I mentioned it. Saying for us also, I mean, everybody does Chitas Rambam, but the Rebbe demanded when it comes to Rambam, at least one halacha should be be'iyun. Each one according to his level. You have Sfarim to Tauga, this one, that one. There are Sfarim that can help you. There are Sfarim mamish devoted to Kilpulim on every perek. Not Kilpulim, but iyun. At any rate, certainly to understand what we're learning. Forget the just take the time and break the head. We're tired at the end of the day. We're doing good things. That's lazy. Be'emes, he continues. Now he's continuing about his excuse that he's panosa. The panosa, it's consuming. It exhausts him intellectually, physically. The emes is that all of these tirdas and distractions should not, and worry should not distract him from his avodah. He shouldn't be this way. And he should trust in the Eibishter, that he fulfill all his needs. As the Frierdiker Rebbe said, as he should be, he's God's. Behem is God's goat. Mela all of the malis tafkida, you got to do what you got to do. In brackets, like the goat has to give milk, you give milk, and the owner, the farmer, will provide you with your hay, with your food. And his needs, his food and other needs. That's the balabas, shakadosh baruch hu, the Eibishter. That's an emes chassid. That's how he goes about life. And how much more so that he knows. Who gave you this avodah? It's the Eibishter. He forms all their hearts together. Many pirushim just means he made your heart with the Yetzer Hara. So he knows what I'm capable of, and still I'm given this mandate. It means I can do it. Shebora Yetzer Hara, the Eibishter created them with the Yetzer Hara. Certainly the Eibishter gives to them, to each year, the koiches that necessary to carry out the avodah. God doesn't deal in a bad way, that a tyrant, with his creations. A tyrant gives orders and so on that breaks and destroys them. And still misatzlim. He's lazy to think about this. Gufa. That he has the koyach, he has no koyach. He's too lazy, he puts up a defense. He's not even going to go there that I really can't do it because that's going to make demand of him. So he doesn't even think about that. That's one level. Lamatim is there, but the low level, these are the bad workers. No, who's this chassid? I mean, aspiring chassid. Hopefully. He says, that doesn't argue back. He knows. He has the koyach and he can do the avodah. Nonetheless, he doesn't do it. He just wants to do what he wants to do. Even to antagonize. Antagonize the Eibishter. Get him back. Give me what I want, I'm not giving you what you want. Hefker. Nichala, he'd rather. What he wants. What's good for him is Hefkeris. Not having a yoke. More specifically, not acknowledging that there's an owner. Hefker means there's no owner. So he casts off the yoke of the owner. So this Maamer is already different. The first Maamer was a whole beer, nifla, and how when he said included us, he meant us, the two highest, the different dargis Mesiras Nefesh. So he, because of his humility, could say the higher dargis Mesiras Nefesh, which is mitzad you, not mitzad the person's resolve, he's not comparable to Aviseinu. Here in this Maamer now, he's actually elaborating on the first pirush that he had rejected. He means everybody. How does he include himself in? Now he's focusing on that. He said it wasn't maspik, he said, but still an answer. He says asi means everybody, even the lazy and bad workers. This is what he's being emphasizing in this Maamer. He's talking about them. And this the Rebbe says, Yehi May Hashem be with us like he was with our forefathers. And he went on to say, we can't compare ourselves to our forefathers. He's including, to our good fortune, us too. Is including in his tefillah, his bakasha, and in his assurance, as we looked in the previous Maamer. Even those Peilim Atzelim, the lazy workers, and even the Peilim Royim, the bad workers. Kiven Gewalt. Shegam Etzlam Tzarech Lifel, because the feet Rebbe has to be pearled by them also. With that exception, Maamer the Matzav Shel Geula. They got to go out of Golus too, and no one's being left behind. And that's why he includes himself with them, because he's taking them out of Golus. I'll show you something I said Shabbos and Shul, but most of you were not there. I haven't heard this. Friday night, Bekitze, but more Bariches at Shalosh Shudus. I'm not going to go into all of the Protim. I just the Nekuda. I don't know which Fabrengen this was, because I heard someone sent me a tape of Rabbi Chazering it. It doesn't say when. Somebody only them could ask this question. The question is that Zeis Chukas HaTorah. So the Medrash says the Shlomo Melech said that he understood the reasons of all the mitzvahs except this one, the Chaykim Mimeni. But elsewhere, the Eibishter told Moishe ben Lecho ani megale tam Torah. The Eibishter revealed the reason to Moishe Rabbeinu. So conventionally, that doesn't go into this, but conventionally, this is like a mile of Moishe Rabbeinu, right? That's how you take it. That he knew also the reason of Paradum. The Rebbe asks, fakert, opposite. There's a mile in not understanding and not knowing. Doing the mitzvah because the Eibishter said this is being taken away from Moishe Rabbeinu. One thing that is a choik, no. You're going to know the reason for this too. But then he lacks the whole mile of this bittul, of chukim. And the Rebbe's answer is moiradik. And the Rebbe's answer is, that's what he's saying here, is the hanosi hu akoil, the pnimius, the etzma Moishe Rabbeinu is bound up with us. And we don't know the reason. He doesn't know the reason. All the other inyonim, there's a havonda and hasog and so on, it's his chitzonius. His pnimis is neshamas Yisrael, as we are in our matzav, Imanu kashehoyim aviseinu. And therefore, since Yidden don't know the reason, but pnimis Moishe doesn't know the reason. Because what he feels in the depth of him is you and me. That's the depth of him. His avonas, vasogas, this is his chetzonius. That's such a meridic answer. Atkan is the sikh. Yeshloima, as I'm saying, Shalashudas, it's true, whether it's the match to the psukim or not. What are we talking about here? Paradum. What's paraduma? It's the harder for Tumas mess. Ula Yeshloima. That, again, the famous, what the Rebbe said, Pashas Koirach, Tavshin Memtes. It came out edited at the end of the Farbrengen. The Rebbe said the G'dei Yisrael, before they were G'dei Yisrael, God will be Yisrael, but there were many. They said before they passed away, they're not going to Gan Eden until Mashiach comes. They passed away, Mashiach didn't come. So the current God will be Yisrael explained what happened about the previous one, that they were seduced, as it were, by Gan Eden. There were the stories, the imagery, what's in the Kudah. They came up there and they got an answer. It's all worth it because of the great reward and because whatever all the hesabaitim. So they, okay, they acquiesced and they dropped the claim. Now, I tell you, ad kadei kach, that even Achman Litzlan Yid, who God forbid suffers in this world terribly and dies like Kiddush Hashem, the moment that neshama leaves the body, the bliss and the schar and the reward in Gan Eden is such that he be asking to do it again. He be mask, the one who suffered. So this God will be Yisrael came Lamaila and sees this the schar and the oir and the gil in the explanations, the timing, lachani megale tam paraduma. So finished. The tinus arab. So the Rebbe said, what's the solution is the neder of das rabbim, that you can't be released unless you get the whole rabbim to release you. The nukud is this. The Rebbe is not seduced by all the oir up there. He is suffering here, and that's where his previous lies. Up there, it's a different perspective, and even this Jew would be masking if he only know what's awaiting him. Doesn't matter. Even here are suffering in Golos, no oir, no giloi, no tampada satisfies him. And he remains with the gewaltic Admo and is working as he was lemata, physically in the body, continuing. Why? Because the pnimius of Moishe, the Rebbe revealed this on him. The pnimius of Moishe Rabbeinu's Anosi HaKoil is the Yid here. He can't be seduced with all the oir and explanations and light, which are all true. Which this Jew would be masking if he went up there. But he's not, he's here. And Muchasach and Golos. As I said, anybody who saw the Rebbe one day, you don't have to know any Chassid is going to know nothing. This is a Jew, nothing will assuage his demand that Golus end for every Yid and every Jew be taken out of Golus. That no Jewish child, young, old, suffer. Begashmius. There's nothing in the world that's going to justify, explain it. Wait another minute, it's okay. You'll see at least garnished. You don't have to be any, just watch the man, listen to him, talk the way he spoke. It is work for everybody, not for him. It did work for everybody, but not for him. Not this yet. And we all feel it. It's 30 years later. Shluchim born way after Gimel Tammuz. And the Shluchim, Mesiras Nefesh, the end of the world. Small town USA. It's a Metzias. We're in it, so we don't appreciate it at the time, but it's historical, is a poor word. It's beyond historical. This is Elikus. This is the Kavanah Pnimi. This is Continuing in the mind. I think you have the same layer as me, yeah? The 3 lines in the bottom. We find he's talking about Moishe Rabbeinu. He was mispal even for those who the Cheta Egel, and he included himself with them, and he said, if you don't forgive them, take me out of your Torah. What's your whole Torah if you're going to abandon Jews? So it's all, everything is in Torah. But Yehi is Paul, and it's through this Mesiras Nefesh Adarab. He's saying, so the Shvit Rebbe is saying, not including these Yidden and not letting them go. Paul, he affected Shakadosh Baruch Hu Nisratze. The Amish Taka was appeased v'omar salachti kidvorecha. I'll forgive them as you ask. Now Eden comes the Avodah. Beautiful, but there's Avodah. This is not okay. So the Rebbe is a Chmeis and Nefesh and come for us, and we can have a free ride. Has to come mitzad the tachten. The whole point is we have to be integral to this. Al yedei Avodah the tefillah dafke. Bim bom. Got it down. Shari Amayim Elokenu Imanu. What this whole pasuk, this whole Maamer is a tefillah. And you shall tefillah bakosh. So medav davening. This is the keli kiyadua. What's davening? Torah is the Eibishter's words. So we're trying to understand what he says, but it's your ideas, not mine. Tefillah, my words. I'm talking to you. So was willst du, wer bist du? That's what tefillah is. Even in halach and shema kelenu, you can add your own tefillah. It's pashat in halach. We don't do it, but the inyan. Now the contrast, the similar externally, a bracha, a tefillah, but there's a difference. And here the kvetch is, the emphasis is not bracha but tefillah. What does bracha do? Bracha draws down from the source. It could be stuck and not come down, so the bracha draws down that which the Eibishter gives and wants to give and is determined to give from his source already. You're just opening the channels to receive that which is being designated for you. However, Mashenkin tefillah, but tefillah breaks the mold. What's the mold that has to be broken? The ishtalshalos. It's a good, then it's asboda, and another day. Tefillah peles liyas hamshocha chadosha shalamayim asher Hashem malkir. Tefillah touches the Eibush himself higher than the source, than the system. That tefillah can embrace and is pale. That they should be with us, who is the us, gam eitzel pelim, atzedim afilu pelim royu. So tefillah pales that even the lazy and the bad workers are also part of this, and this eideh teshuvah. It goes without saying that we have to address this lazy bad worker. And it'll manifest, he's saying, this is like a new thing here, but real tefillah leads to tshuva. I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you want to connect, then the result is tshuva. First of all, the pasha the tshuva, doing things wrong, fix that. Yad the shleimus in tshuva, then there's a higher dargis in tshuva, which is not about fixing Avedas, but rather that the Ruach, the Neshama, is returning to the Eibush who granted it, and that's endless. in higher and higher, which means the whole Maamer here, שהעבודה בכוחות הגלויים תהיה קשורים עצם הנשמה. That my conscious faculties, seichel and midas, etc., should be expressive of the etzem and the neshama's desire is what? You. To be nichel and elikus, complete bittul. That bittul should pervade even my consciousness, my conscious faculties. They're all l'chai elomim. They come from l'chai elomim, and they're all devoted l'chai elomim. Now concluding about Pizeh Yuvan, Mashem Madgish, why he emphasizes Bizdamos Lavisenu in comparing us to our forefathers. What's being compared here? As Milas Mesiris Nevish Dafka, that they're Mesiris Nevish Volyan, not intellectual prowess. We have a new point here. The Kivin Sha'oimezais B'Shem Kol Yisrael. It's the same Nakuda, but he's adding a Nakuda here. He's talking about every Jew. So every Jew is Shaykhis Tavonda Vasoga. No, he actually he can't demand every Jew to understand. Not everybody has that ability in their background. You can't wait right now, he's going to learn, he'll have Avonda Vasoga. It's got to start now. But you're a Yid. Whatever matzav Yid is, that's demanded. It's a paradox. The deepest avodah is shaykh to everyone always. Why? Because that's who he is. Not something he acquires, like knowledge. Even someone at the lowest level, with the words here. Havonda Vasoga, inspired? No. Mesiras Nefesh, you gotta have. Because the main thing is the ikar, and that you can do. Because you are Jewish, so you can do it. Even the Ishpashet is connected to. And on the other extreme, he's holding at a very high level. He's inspired and understands and he feels. We demand from him that his avodah should be mitzad etzem and neshama. This is Aviceno. The primitive chachma been higher than engendered understanding, than your appreciation. He doesn't quote the whole pasuk. The pasuk says, "Pesi yamel chodova," that a simpleton believes everything. For some reason, the Rebbe doesn't want to say the word "pesi." He drops that word. Just so, who is it? Zeh Moishe Rabbi. Pasuk goes on Moishe. Moishe, the greatest intellectual, but he had the mile of bitl, the mile of a simple Amuna, higher than seichel. Okay, to be continued by Hashem tomorrow. Today's story.